Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Alright, let's see. This takes me like 2 minutes to set everything up. Morning, Steve. Ooh. My thingy is really delayed today. I don't know why. Oh, I see. I picked the wrong latency. Oh, I can't reset it now. So that's why. Right, anyway. I think today's the last little class, I think. It's Friday 27th. We go back to dummy training next week, I think. Yeah. Happy. I can't believe I was missing the dummies, but that's how bad it was this month. But just the fact that we get to go to the gym now and do something is good. Morning, Lewis. How are you? I know. I haven't seen you in a while, dude. But yeah, we've got our little secret open mat back. I'll edit it out later. Yeah, man, I can't hope. Well, it looks like everything is turning out a bit better. So who knows, by the start of next year, we might be able to see some jiu-jitsu. I can't do Saturdays anymore, I'm afraid. I'm teaching some kids classes. But yeah, look forward to at least going to the gym. So today we'll finish off the last section. No, this is somewhere else. A different gym. Yeah, I started just before the second wave of the lockdown, and it's quite cool seeing the little kids kill each other. But yeah, because they weren't affected by the like kids were still allowed to do sports activity and stuff, so jiu-jitsu was fine for them because they were allowed. But then the second wave of lockdown came, so they all had to stop. Right, so we did turtle attacks last time. We'll finish it off today. It's the counters. But just to quickly recap, we went over this little system here. Sorry if I take long to reply to stuff because it's really delayed. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I can't change it. Front headlock, rear turtle. These are the transitions that we did. I'll quickly show you the videos. We did our turtle switch. This is actually going to be a counter today, so ignore that. We have front headlock control, which is making sure we put our weight down, distributing the back of the neck, so we put enough pressure there to keep the guy in that position. Here's the active control, so you're moving around, not letting the person grab your leg, and punishing them every time they reach by digging your shoulder into the back of the neck. Then we looked at all the available kind of attacks. We had our guillotine when they leave their neck open. Boom. Anaconda, when they start clawing your hands or fighting the chin strap. Roll underneath, try to finish it. We have the farce choke, which is like the anaconda but on a different side. There it is. And the Peruvian choke. Jump over and pull the head off. What's this one? Oh yeah, we had the Kayatera guillotine. That's a good one as well. Boom. And then for side turtle, our main system was the crucifix or the direct, taking the back. Everyone should know these back takes. We have the direct knee here, which is just stepping over and shoving your hook in. And the hook entry is pretty much the same, but the hook entry is just your hook going in first instead of your kind of over the top hook. Then our truck entry, which is, what is this song? Where you pull backwards and get your twister hooks in. So that was all our back takes, and then the other system, which is resolved around a bit more submissions, is the crucifix system, which you're looking to isolate the arm and attack the neck or the arm. So here's the one arm choke. Here's the arm bar. That's the one arm choke again. Sorry, here's the arm bar. Just slide down, bridge into the elbow. Hopefully it'll tap. And the arm triangle when they try to roll out. So there's tons of other moves that you can do from the side turtle, but those are like the most traditional ones that we see. And it gives you a clean little system that we worked on, and we did all of these in the dummy classes. So it's a good little recap of those. But today we're doing turtle escapes, which, as you can see, there's a lot more moves for our turtle escapes. But we already did kind of like the top scenarios, which is how to like position yourself properly. These first escapes are if the person's not positioning properly. We've already seen them, but we have the turtle switch, which is here, where I switch into taking her back. This is only usually for someone from front headlock or double underhooks like this. And again, the person top must be doing a really bad job to be able to do this. But if you're quite fast, it's a good move. We have the single leg, which is, again, if they're leaving their leg out, just grab it and finish it. Now there is a way of getting this a bit easier, and that is during the transitions, which is the next stage. Turtle comes in many forms, right? We've got, you could turtle from side control, you can turtle from like someone trying to kind of double leg you and you kind of collapse down. You could get into turtle from someone sprawling on you. So there's lots of ways of getting into turtle. So you've got to realize which type of turtle you're in. And each one of them has their own different transitions. Here's an example where maybe I did a really bad double leg. The person sprawled on top of me. And here, while I'm trying to do my escapes, I'm also thinking, I've got to avoid the transition towards my back, okay? And here's where the single leg comes in quite good, is that a lot of people transition kind of the wrong way, and as they transition, you're able to kind of catch one of their legs. Hopefully I do on this one, which is there. Catch the leg, and then you can single leg them or take that back like that. But always expect this transition here when they're in turtle like this. So one way is just to reach your arm out. You can't see my arm, but all I did is reach that arm around, and I'm able to catch the leg. That's why it's so important to control the arm that you're passing to, because that could be the difference between you getting single legged and you taking the back. Alright, this is probably one of my pet peeves with students. They always run around towards the back without controlling this, and they get single legged all the time. So everyone understands this move, because I'm sure everyone of us has been caught in this, where we're trying to take the back, we get singled. As long as you understand why now, it should be good. But it's a brilliant counter nonetheless. So that's the avoiding the transition things, right? Again, this was a transition from front headlock. Now you could have a transition from side control, which is going to be the next stages here. So one way to turtle is, especially in a gi or something, is one of the reasons is like to avoid the points. So here we have an example where she passes my guard, and before she stabilizes side control, or instead of shrimping like this, right, this is me getting points, this is me giving the pass. To avoid the pass, I turtle. There. There's good things and bad things about this, obviously, right? The bad thing, obviously, give you your back away. The good thing, you might be able to replace by using Granbys and kind of techniques that you learn to escape the turtle, and you don't give up side control. So you must know your escapes really well to be comfortable about doing this. Again, if you're one step ahead, usually you're able to replace quite good. It's just who can transition better at this point, either her with her back takes or me with my escapes. This is another example of trying to be one step ahead from the turtle scenario, but this is like 2 times more difficult than this. This is a simple example of it, right? Sorry, not this one. Simple example of someone going from here to my back. But this one it's a lot of things are happening. Someone's just passed your guard, you're turtling. The back is, it's like she's like 1 step away from the back, and you're like 1 step away from escape. So the details on these matter so much more, because if it goes wrong, you're possibly gonna lose the match, which usually happens a lot in gi tournaments. People avoid the side control for the points, they give their back away, and then it's either someone's really good at taking the back and gets the back and the match is over, or someone escapes and he fights another day. There's many ways of turtling, but the main thing that you're trying to avoid is the points first of all, and then the space between them getting hooks. So after this one freezes, you'll be being careful with this little gap, and you're being careful with that little gap. And that's a easy way of explaining things. If you limit those spaces, it'll be difficult for them to take your back. And then we'll go over the turtle escapes in a second. But this is just understanding how to avoid points. And you can't be slow. This is usually what people partner it with, which is the Granbies. So usually you either turtle and you kind of spin, or you do a Granby like this. So again, she's gonna pass my guard. I'm gonna turtle, and that's our Granby roll to recover the guard. Boom. I believe this one is a half Granby. People do find it difficult to do this at the start, but once you get like used to the movement and how to use your hips to block the person, it becomes something really naturally that you do. So here I'm just going to like half of a turtle, throwing my hips to block their chest, and I'm just swinging my leg back. And you can end up with some nice attacks from there. The forward roll, a bit more scrambly. Here I'm gonna turtle again, and if the person's riding behind me, I'm just gonna do a forward roll. To be fair, this one, it's usually if the person over commits to the back, you kind of escape. But expect that someone decent is gonna get a really nice seatbelt on you. So you're gonna have to fight the seatbelt at the same time as you roll. Yeah, we kind of just land in an awkward position. But expect the worst when you do this one. So if you were to do something, Granby would be the first option. Forward roll if things are going bad. There is another one that didn't show, which is a full spin. Let's see if you can imagine it. Maybe I did. We might see it later. But the full spin is just you turtle, and then you carry on spinning to that direction. That one, usually everyone expects it from the top, that's why I didn't show it, and they usually jump to the other side. So that's us avoiding the points and us doing Granby rolls to kind of escape those bad scenarios. You do have to realize these are two different strategies, the Granby aspect, the avoiding points and stuff. So sometimes it is better to just accept the side control and work on your escapes from there than giving your back away. So just be aware of what scenario you're in. If you're doing submission onlys and stuff, it's way more important to not give your back than to accept side control. I think accepting side control is fine as long as you can escape it, but chances of you getting subbed from the back are quite higher percentage than side control. This is talking about hook awareness when you turtle. This is a good angle of it. When I turtle, I don't want a massive gap over here, because otherwise her knee can go through, and that's our knee entry back take. So every time you turtle, see how my elbow is just collapsed underneath there, and I'm kind of trying to negate that hook if it tries to come in while I do my Granby. And here's a really good example angle of the Granby. She does have a seat belt when she starts, right? Because she starts from side control. Everyone's kind of going for the seat belt. And if you're not able to like get your hips in between this little gap here, it's quite difficult to do a Granby. So you see how I push the shoulders away so I can get my hips in between us. That's a good way to understand what the Granby is for. It's just to get your kind of bum right on the center line of their chest, so you're able to recover guard. And it's kind of a rule of any kind of guard replacement, right? We always want our guard to be facing the person instead of facing away. So that's our hook awareness. So all of these together, avoiding transitions all the way to hooks, you have to kind of think about them in 1 to 2 seconds. So you really gotta drill these and make it like a muscle memory, because if you do any of these slow or you're not sure when to use them, usually gonna end up with the person taking your back. And it's just a matter of speed once both of you know each escapes, right? Escapes and attacks. Then it's just based on who has a quicker reaction to do things. And who has better transitions. Because you could have really creative back entries, but not have the speed, so the person will be able to escape most of the times. Or it could be the other way around. You could have really nice, really fast speeding back takes, but the other person's reactions are a bit too slow. So yeah, I'd say drill these quite a bit. Side turtle. This is where, if we're too slow, or you're fighting against someone who's much faster than you, I usually completely change the strategy in terms of escapes. I'm not gonna Granby roll. I'm not gonna look for transitional escapes and stuff, because I know someone's faster than me, or I might be tired or whatever. So instead, we're gonna protect the hooks and protect our neck as much as we can. And we're just gonna turtle. So here, I've gotten to the turtle position, and I've kind of like, how to explain it? We kind of stabilized turtle, okay? That means that the person got a seatbelt on me, but she doesn't have any hooks, and we're just both kind of sitting there. She's trying to find a space to put the hooks in, and I'm trying to escape. Cool, so these are completely different kind of stable scenarios. We have the tele sweep. This is a brilliant sweep. You can catch a lot of people with this. But basically, the only scenario you have to remember is that the person, it's on side turtle, and they have a seatbelt on you like this. Okay? We're gonna build our base and step up behind, right? So you can't see it from that angle, but my leg is straight like this. Now it looks like I'm giving tons of space for the person to like put their hooks in and stuff, but you can see she has this knee down. So for her to get a hook, she'll either have to step over or switch her base to put this leg in. And that's really difficult to do without me being able to replace some form of guard or just collapsing down. Because I've stepped up literally behind her like this, she has to do a superhuman jump to get over the top, which is not very likely. So once you stepped up behind and you know you got everything set up, we're just gonna sit from one hip to the other, and you get this really nice sweep. So So one again, step up behind. You can hug the leg, you can use your elbow. But that's just a quick example. Here's another angle from it. This is Steve doing it. Of Steve. Steps up. There's the leg based. And then you just sit across. Now the sitting is probably the key to the sweep. How to sit down. Because if you don't do it properly, the guy sits on your knee, or there's too much weight on you. And there shouldn't be any weight on you, should all be on your hips. So how to sit, he kind of slides this foot in, there, and then, don't know how to explain this, but everything's gonna be loaded onto this hip here. So all your weight should be on this hip. So you're just going from sitting down, you know when we do like a butterfly stretch? That's probably a good example. And we switch from side to side on it. It's pretty much that. So here's the butterfly thing. All the weight is on that side, and you're just switching to the other side from there. It should feel really easy to do. If it's really hard, you're doing something wrong. One more time. But like I said, everything has to be kind of static for you to do this. The person has to be in this position, kind of not knowing what to do or not being able to do anything, and then you hit it. The wrist trap works in similar ways, but there's a few more things that you can do with it. This is just punishing someone from having a really deep underhook. And we do it by trapping their wrist under their armpit by just pinching your elbow in. And that usually means there's no base to that side there. So you can do the clothesline sweep just like before with the wrist. But you can also do a few other moves like forward rolling onto this side. You can pull guard now as well. It's just a good way to make them kind of not being able to base to this side. There you go. So that's the wrist trap sweep. This is quite good to partner up with some kimuras, which we'll see later. Run around sweep. This is it's basically a chain from the first traditional sweep that we do. And it's based on where the person is distributing their weight. Okay, the tele sweep works really well when they're leaning onto you. This next sweep is when they're aware of the sweep, so they lean in that direction. So here, one way to realize that we made it really clear here by the person dropping down to their knee. So you collapse the knee and just run around like this. One more time. And the usual reason why they do this, right, is people like me. We kind of know the step around sweep, or I've seen the sweep before, I've been caught on it. So when they step up on that leg, we kind of go away from the leg so that we can jump over, right? Because if that leg is directly behind like this, it's very hard for me to jump over the top. But if I can move around and make the space, I can sometimes leap over. So that's one way you can hit me with the sweep. Catch the leg and run around behind. This could all easily go scrambly if the person chooses to let go of the seatbelt. So just be aware of that. And then you usually end up with a guard pull. But for all of these scenarios, the guy's kind of stubbornly holding on to the seatbelt, and that's why we get all of these moves. Knee collapse. I think that's the same one, isn't it? Let's see what this one is. This is the fancy forward row one. Actually never done this one. This one, it just works kind of the same way. You just want both of their knees on the mat, and if they keep the seatbelt now, they're usually screwed. I haven't seen this one much, but I'm sure Tellus has done it a lot. I'll give it a try once everything comes back. And then, like I said, pulling guard is your other option, which is basically any of the sweeps that we did before, but the person just brings their leg backwards, so there's a huge gap. So you just sit through to pull guard. Nice little chain there. So the full chain, if you want to be a turtle specialist, is side turtle if you can. We have the step behind, and call it clothesline sweep, tele sweep. Here's a better angle. Step behind, cut through, sweep. We have our wrist trap. I think we're gonna do a little bit more, yeah, in the wrist trap in a second. We have the knee, the run around. They drop onto their knee, and we have the rollover to get on top. And last one, pull guard in time the legs are far away. That's our side turtle. And then all we need to do now, before we do the sub counters, is this little section here, which is the leg entanglements. It's usually just if you're a leg locker or you want to look for leg locks. Here's the usual time to do it. It's when someone's directly behind you and you see a leg available. So it's just a series of forward rows and pulling the leg through. Usually never ends up like this, unless you're rolling with a dummy or something. They usually have to do some form of transitions to get a good tap, okay? But this is just entries, so think of it just like an entry. So that was directly behind, forward row, find the leg. There is a right way to forward row. It's only, you kind of can tell which way you need to forward row. Just the same side that your leg is in. Usually a good row. This is a good way to make sure you have a leg, right? You can feed it, or someone steps over. Or this could be a half guard scenario that turned into a turtle. Hook the leg, and then forward row. You can see there's a bunch of transitions that you can do. Here's the kneeling on the calf swing. This is something that people do if they're annoyed at you at turtling, where they kneel on your calf when it hurts. This is a good way to counter it. Literally grab their foot and pull it through. This is really useful if you're rolling with max. because he's the only person I know that does this, just to cause you pain. So if he does that to you, just grab his foot, windshield, and do this move on him. Don't tell him, but I've every time he does this to me, I do this to him straight away. He always falls for it. So that's our kind of leg entanglement scenario. All of these, you're gonna have to do our heel hook or leg lock classes to get good at, because there's about 1,000 transitions that you're gonna have to do when you do this forward roll, because you're not gonna get a clean knee bar like this. People are gonna roll, people are gonna pull your knee. You need to know all the reactions from there. And then our last little slice is the submissions. These are really quick little things, but it will save you. First one is guillotines. Whenever you're getting guillotine, you need to learn which is the safe side. It's always the one opposite to your head. So jump over and get to the safe side. Obviously, you can hand fight straight away to avoid getting tapped or whatever. So feel free to do those. But at one point, you need to be comfortable with people getting on your neck and not relying on just clawing their hands off, because you're gonna find someone that knows how to hide their wrist really well. So you need the plan B, which is this. And there is a late one, which is if someone gets you on a really perfect guillotine and the leg is over here, you're gonna have to collapse down and cause some form of scramble as your last effort to not die, basically. But the jumping on one should be your first priority, and then you're good. Anaconda, we have the leg counter first of all, which is she rows, and you get to this scenario. Keep the legs away from you. That's a good rule to remember, and try to bridge on top of them. As long as your head is somewhere around the sternum, around here, it's quite difficult for them to choke you, unless they have a really strong squeeze, which then you're gonna have to fight through the pain. And anytime I'm keeping her legs away from me by pushing it, and I'm always walking away, and then my head goes on top of her chest. And then if you ever feel like you can reach for this arm, that's a good way to escape. If that happens, happy days. But usually in the real world, what happens is I'm there for about 2 minutes until the person decides to come up, or they run out of steam in their arms, and then I somehow escape. I'm sure there's other escapes. That's the one that I find keeps me safe usually. Early ones, roll underneath. I don't even know what happened here. I think that's me tapping because I hurt her wrist or something. But this one, it's a fast roll where you shoot your arm through, and hopefully you can see here that her wrist kind of collapses there, and you're able to kind of undo everything. There's 2 ways you can roll. That's the painful side. I should have showed this one first, which is rolling to this side. But usually that's the same side they roll onto, so that's why I showed this one first. But this is quite a safe one to do early on. DOS counter. This is quite simple. they have to collapse to try to finish you. When they collapse, you need to swing this arm to the other side. And to be able to, you kind of sit like to reverse cross chest, and then you're able to swing the arm around, and then you're usually free. This one you just have to know it's coming. If you know this submission's coming, it's usually good. It is quite a tough submission to escape from, to finish. And then Anaconda is a lot more difficult to deal with, I think. And that concludes the submissions. So we had guillotine, jump to the other side, fight the hands or roll underneath if it's really bad. Anaconda, late one, keep the legs away from you really far and try to get your head onto their chest so that they have less power of choking you. If you can grab their wrist, you've got an attempt of a submission. Anaconda early, spin underneath, shoot your arm through. Hopefully it breaks their grip and you're out. And then the Doris, sit through with them and swing your arm around. And that is today's class. Turtle counters. Any questions? Any clips you want to see again? Fire away now. But like I said, the turtle counters, there's so much more you have to be good at, while the attacks are a bit more straightforward. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's quite funny because most people, I think it's due to exhaustion, and the technique levels goes down. But there are famous people that are really good on turtle that have never been tapped from there. So it's just knowing your defenses really well. Because you got people like Tellus, who's the turtle guy, he's the turtle master, who never gets tapped from turtle. He gives turtle like 100 times during a fight. Be interesting to see him against someone who's really good at back takes. But usually all the back take guys are really lightweight or featherweights or that kind of level. So they've got so much more speed. And then the turtle guys, they're usually quite big and heavy. With the telesweep and the knee collapses. Let's see. Where's my mouse gone? Oh. Granby side turtle. With the telesweeps and knee collapses, my opponent ends up isolating my arms. Oh, that's a good one. Alright. So, the guy must be watching our lessons and doing our crucifix entry. Which is, let's see, where is it? Understanding the base. That's the tax side. So, do you mean isolating your arm like this, where they trap your arm with their legs? I think it's that, right? No? So you're getting up to this base, like this. Out, collapse the knees. So it must be this one. So I think it's this arm. And you reach for this bit. Yeah, it is this arm, right? Yeah, so it is the crucifix if your arm's getting caught. Because the only way she can catch my arm, right, is really early on. She can step over the top here and trap my arm. which is the same as the crucifix entry. So your issue is just this race between you getting this arm high enough and her hooking this. If she hooks, that's a crucifix. Now, the beautiful thing about it, right, is that you can still do the sweep regardless if she has a crucifix or not. So carry on with the move. You're gonna be here. The person traps your arms. It's still good, okay? You'd have that leg straight up or whatever. So when, see you later, AJ. So when you do get your arms trapped or whatever, you carry on with the sweep, and as long as you're sitting through, you're gonna end up on the other side, but your arm is gonna be in between their legs. And then all you need to do is just run to north-south. Okay? The only time you're gonna get caught is because they've trapped your arm and they've also jumped over. So as long as you avoid them jumping over, you'll be fine. Okay? But I think your trouble is probably something to do with this leg not being down there. That's the only time you're gonna get caught really badly. So right now, even if they catch the crucifix on you, you should be okay. Even if they have a choke on you as well, because everything you're doing, you're escaping to the safe side, if that makes sense. I think I do have a, let me just see. I might be able to help to have a video here that has the crucifix stuff on it. That is a good question because it does happen a lot. I should have put it in this sequence. Anytime you do a telesweep, it's very likely that he gets crucifixed in half of his matches. I should have where can I find it? It would be in, must be back. Arm bars, kimuras, heel hooks, open guard, back escapes, or turtle. Would be one of these, I think. We have double unders, not this one. Toe bottom, clothesline sweep, run around, Robson hook, Nogi turtle, kimuras, platters, not this one. Toe top. There we go. Crucifixes. Found it. So if we look at this video, let's see what you said first. But I find it easier to escape the back control than side control. Have I got completely wrong side control? No, it's fine. As long as you, like, side control is a tough situation to escape once the person has stabilized it. I think you're right. Once you're stable and the person's got side control on you, it's quite difficult to do, especially if they don't want to move, like if just holding on to you. If you like, take a look at our side control escape classes, right? I talk about the transition a lot more than the actual side control position itself, because that's your chance to kind of escape the most likely escape is going to be during their transitions. Like, someone's just focusing on pinning you down, it is probably one of the hardest positions to escape. Turtle was way easier, and like the turtle mount is easier as well, because it's just they don't have that chest to chest connection that they have in Psychotroph. So you're right, it is normal to feel that way. Cause you got any tips again, like behind them? That's something I notice I tend to struggle. Morning, Yusuf. How you, dude? The step behind, it's usually to do with the person letting you kind of base or not. It should be something quite simple. It should be quite easy as well. But like I said, it's to do with them being in a stable position. So if they're not kind of like with this leg down and this up, you shouldn't be doing this. But if you see they're in this base and they've got a nice seatbelt, the step behind should be really easy. Like you should. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to get it. In most cases, if you're in a stable turtle like this. If it's not stable, it's usually too scrambly. So a lot of times you'd be trying to step up, but the person's already jumping over. So those scenarios, it's kind of like the person's already one step ahead of you, so there's not much you can do. Cool. Here's the crucifix that I was talking about. See if I can find it. I think it's this one. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I want the one where they roll. Yeah, these are all kind of bad examples. Unless is, oh, here it is. Yay. I think it's this one. So here's all the issues that, these are the issues that are all gonna happen to you when you try any of these moves, right? This is a good way to look at it. These are the moves from the top, countering most of our scenarios that we do. So these probably all happen to us at some point. So one of them is you try to roll, the guy lands on the belly. One of them is you try to row, they go to arm triangle, and here's me stepping up behind to do that move, and they kind of, the count, this is one of the best counters, but he takes the seatbelt out and then he just pulls on your arm. And any more? Here's the barrel roll. Sorry. Usually what happens when you step up behind, this I go to step up behind, but the person already jumps over. And then you're usually trying to hide your back now, and the person rows with you. These are all worst case scenarios. This one is, again, you try the wrist trap, but they continue to row with you, and then they go north-south. So knowing all of those will help you out doing most of the transitions. But you can see things are going wrong, those. I think there's one more. Which is... shoulder, Robson, Tellis, early hook. I don't think these are the ones I wanted. Spire rides. Yeah, I wanted to do to find a crucifix one. I can't find one. Never mind. Yeah. If you've got good imagination, going back to Steve's lesson, I just rambled a lot, but going back to Steve's thing, if someone catches your arm when you're trying to do this telesweep, right here, they catch your arm, carry on with the sweep, you end up in crucifix bottom, and it looks like the person's gonna choke you or tap you, but just turn towards their legs and you'll be safe. That's the easiest way I can explain it. Hopefully I'll find a video for you one day. But you're gonna end up here, but your arm's gonna be trapped in between their legs, and they're gonna have a real good harness on you, and it looks like they're gonna try to choke you with a rear naked choke, or they might have the choke already. Again, just turn towards their legs like this, and you'll be fine. And then you'll be able to slowly pull your arm out, walk to north-south, and you'll be happy. Okay? Any last questions, guys? I think I rambled on for like 15 minutes over this, but hopefully you got a good idea. Like I said, today is the last lesson. I'm gonna go back to the dummy trainings after. So I hope you guys get to practice anything you like. Dummies, beat them up. If you got any underground training, try out the moves, let me know how it goes, and the videos will be up on YouTube, so you can skim through them or skip my rambles, and you can just look at the videos and hopefully catch some stuff. Yeah, watching these lessons, I do want to try some of these moves that I forgot about next time I'm rolling. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys will have a lovely weekend. Don't know when I'll see you guys again, but hopefully soon. Not soon, sorry. It's hopefully at the gym or something. Alrighty. I think that's it for today. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping. Hopefully these lessons help you a bit. And stay safe. See you guys.